Since I'm down here right now by Old Orchard Mall, you have the Nissan dealership here. And this is the Old Orchard Nissan dealership. And let me turn around because I'm heading westbound and go back eastbound as I flip around. And I'm going to, here's an animal hospital, companion animal hospital. But again, in a Jiffy Lube. But the dealership and the Jiffy Lube and the animal hospital as well, you can get carts or booths that are within the mall. Not a storefront, but you would set up a booth or a cart in the mall, and this would be for your dealership. Here is the Westfield Mall. And so inside this mall, and this is an outdoor mall, and they don't have them here, but at the Niles Mall that I go to, they have vendors with carts that are between the stores. And it's another way for the stores to get revenue from that space between the stores. You have carts, and those carts pay a fee for that square footage they use in the mall. Now, the dealership, the Jiffy Lube, and the animal hospital can set up with inside here, Old Orchard, and here's Nordstrom's and that, but they would set up in the exterior. This is an outdoor mall, so yes, it's going to be a little bit cold in the winter working the cart, and you're going to be standing outside in the cold. But again, you can use, there are heat lamps, and then there are outdoor heaters and that you can set up around your cart, and that'll keep it warm so people can walk up to the cart and basically your cart or your booth and talk to you about taking a test drive at Old Orchard Nissan. And the holiday season is coming up, October, November, December, and mall traffic in the fourth quarter is the highest of it all. So I'll go to the outside of this, but you have to understand that mall traffic is by far the heaviest in the fourth quarter. It's just because not even if people aren't particularly shopping per se for Christmas gifts for other people, what do people shop for? They shop for themselves. So don't forget, a lot of people buy things for themselves during the Christmas holidays because they got all kinds of parties to go to and things, so they get haircuts, and the fourth quarter is very busy for hair salons and nail salons and all of that, because people have events in October, November, December, and January at the beginning. And so they spend a lot of time going out. They go out to restaurants. They meet up with friends, truly. And so they have all this activity, which is what? Incredibly good, especially for the Midwest, turning it into a winter wonderland. It's the holiday season. It's the winter months. Turn them into this blessed activity. So you can see you can't really see the corridor, but there's a corridor between Barnes & Noble, which is cool, they opened, and the Cheesecake Factory, but you can't really see the inside. So this mall is an outdoor mall. But do you see anything like, say, heated sidewalks or outdoor heat lamps? Like these lights right here can have heat lamps around them. Basically trying to create a little bit warmer atmosphere in this general area. So when people are walking down the sidewalks and that, they don't feel as cold. But they don't do this, and it suffers a little bit. There's Oakbrook Mall is outdoor. Woodfield is more indoor than outdoor. And so here you have outdoor places. You got Epic Burger, but you can see the outdoor courtyards that go through this mall. And again, you can create things, and that's the one thing about geothermal, tapping into it. You can use geothermal to create heated sidewalks and that. So the heated sidewalks make it incredibly good for people to get outside during the winter, and so they don't slip and fall. And, you know, you still have to move snow and everything, but they don't allow ice to build up in that. So you still have to shovel and everything because it turns to slush and that, and it takes a while. So it doesn't stop plowing or anything. You still need to do all that. But the point is, you don't need to put salt. So shoveling will suffice. And so it keeps it from, you know, freezing up and having slippery sidewalks so you don't get slip and fall incidents and all that. So there's a lot of, and I like the mini bloomies. So they had the big bloomies. Now the big bloomies went away, and they have still a presence here, and they have the mini bloomies. And it's cool. But this is a big outdoor mall. And this is why you want to turn things into a winter wonderland. And they can have all the costume characters, as you see another courtyard here. And you can have the characters walk through. They can do a deal with Disney, Westfield Mall. I don't know if it's a Simon property or who controls the property, the REIT, the Real Estate Investment Trust. But again, whether it's private or public, they can do a deal with Great America and have the Looney Tune characters here in the mall, especially for Halloween. But the Looney Tune characters all year round in the mall. Remember, I showed you, I took those pictures with at the Scottsdale Fashion Square. I took pictures with a couple cartoon characters. I forget who it was, but I posted it. And again, they were at the mall. They weren't walking the mall, but you could come up and take pictures with the cartoon characters. And Disney or Universal Studios or Great America could open up a booth there, and you can take pictures with the characters, and they're working the mall and they're part of the entertainment, but they can have a booth and promote Great America, per se. That's up in Gurnee. And so the characters can work the mall, and it's great for kids and that, but they interact with adults, love taking pictures with them. And so, again, you can integrate them into the mall. And this is a great shopping area. And you can get a hotel at the DoubleTree or some of the hotels around here. And think about doing a weekend shopping getaway. And it doesn't have to be somewhere else. It can be right here and book a hotel. Say you live in Deerfield. Get away. Book a hotel down here at the DoubleTree by Hilton. And then, you know, do a weekend down here. Plan your dining and your shopping activities. And there's movies and other things that you can do here. And so the shops at at Orchard Place. There's all kinds of stuff. So again, you can go out at night at the Bar Sienna. And there are other places. I don't know what time they're open till. But again, they have a good movie theater. You can hang out at Uncle Julio's at the bar. And so it's more of a restaurant, but it has a nice bar. And so Roca I've been to, it was good food. So, I mean, you can make a weekend of it. And so you check in Friday night, you stay Saturday night, and then, you have some things going on Sunday afternoon, and you go home. You go home to church or whatever. Check out Sunday morning and go to church. And you're not that far from home. And if you don't want to take stuff with you, have them drop ship it. The things you buy, you don't have to take with you. This is what I did in Vegas. Now, there was a tax benefit, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to take it with you. And they should offer, as they did in Vegas, they said, you want to keep it with you here and lug it home, or do you want us just to ship it to your house? And I'm like, just ship it to my house. That means I wasn't going to wear it or use it and in Vegas. So I bought some things and I just had them package it up and send it out to the house. So you don't have to take stuff with you. They can ship it out. And if the mall's working together, the Westfield Mall, if it's working together, meaning the stores are working together, then they can combine it into a bulk order and you get a lower shipping rate. They can combine it into a bulk shipping rate. So there's over 150 shops and restaurants here. So they can combine it into a bulk shipping rate. This is where we had in the parking lot the Taste of Korea. So I don't know where Lily Kim is, but I always liked Lily Kim and always had a crush on her. But anyways, this is the Taste of Korea was here, but also they have a Persian rug fest that used to come here. And Persian means Iranian rugs, but they say Persian. They're Persian rugs. Iran was part of Persia. So, anyways, here is the parking lot where they had the Taste of Korea and that. And so, anyways, it's part of this mall. So, the point being is, you can have events out here. Like the mall can have an outdoor event for itself, like a Taste of Woodfield. Taste of, Old Orchard Mall, or a Taste of Skokie. I think this might be in Skokie, but they can do a taste of, the Old Orchard area. And so you have to be, say, 1 mile from the mall. So it includes food and beverage in the mall, and then it includes all the operations within 1 mile of the mall. A mile's pretty far from here. And so there's a lot of restaurants, and I'll show you down the street up here. And so you can have, this Taste of Old Orchard Mall. It doesn't have to be a Taste of Korea, just a Taste of Old Orchard Mall. And then that's all the vendors in this area, and they have the big parking lot over there. And that area, they can turn that into event space and have, the Taste of Old Orchard. Or they can do outdoor fashion shows there, because there's a lot of seating and everything else. And so they can have Fashion Week at Old Orchard Mall. Fashion Week at Old Orchard Mall. And they set up a whole events, 7 days of events. And they have the runway shows and other things that are set up. And you have Fashion Week at Old Orchard Mall. And so, again, you can do different things. Here's the Med Spa and Burlington's and other places. But I go down here, you'll see there's a bunch of restaurants and everything down here. And if you say within 1 mile, square mile around it, then you'll catch in, Panera would be part of it, the Taste of Old Orchard, and a bunch of restaurants down here. This is all within 1 mile. And the reason you want to do that is because you don't want it too far away. You want them to eat at these places and go to Old Orchard Mall. So the end goal is promoting Old Orchard Mall. So you don't want them more than 1 mile away. So when they get done eating, they go to Old Orchard Mall, or when they eat at Old Orchard shop or something, they go down here for some form of snack. And Wendy's can be part of the Taste, and all these places are within 1 mile. So again, you can have that. You can have Fashion Week. So the Taste of Chicago, I don't understand why Wendy's and McDonald's and that wouldn't be at the Taste of Chicago. We were at the University of Arizona, the student-run carnival. Well, it basically had like restaurants, and we sold our dirt fries. Dirt bags had a stand every year at the student-run carnival at the University of Arizona. And in that, we sold our dirt fries. And we used seasoning salt on the fries. And it was a waffle fry. And it was awesome. So, again, you can have the carnival right there at Old Orchard, too. In those parking lots that are on the side there, you can have a big carnival as well. So they can have a big carnival, and that's another event bringing people to the mall. And then they could set up the Circus Soleil up there, separate thing as well. And they can have them set up here, operation right up here at Old Orchard Mall. So it's closer to the North Shore. It's not downtown in Chicago. And so when they set up at Woodfield Mall, where did they set up? Yeah, Woodfield Mall. They can come over here. That's in Schaumburg, a long way away from here. And they can set up in Old Orchard Mall. So the Circus Olay, or I forget, was Circus something. It's a French, but it's awesome, truly. And Carol Chen, she used to travel around to go see the different ones. Like there was O in Vegas, Carol used to go to. I love that girl. But she was really into the Circus Soleils, and the first time Jennifer Kim, my ex, took me, it was awesome. And the funny thing is, who did I used to go to? Like when I went to see Wicked, I went with my ex, Jennifer Kim, Mia, Grace, Lisa, I think Christine Kim, and so many others. It was just me and like 7-8 Asian girls. But they all liked me, and it was a girls thing, but when they did girl things, they always included me in. I was the one guy who made the exception. Not because I'm girly, because they value my insight highly. So they liked me around, like I was part of a group for cosmetics, not cosmetics, but facial, and it was downtown in Chicago. And originally I was the only guy, and it was all these girls who did facial products, and I was the only guy. So I don't know, I'm used to running in these packs, but I've been in packs with all guys. So But it was nice being with Jen. You know, when I go out, I hang out usually with all guys. And when I hang out with Jen, most of the time we hung out with her girlfriends. So it wasn't like I was hanging out with, but I go out with Costa and all them, and I go over to the Players Club, and I'd be with Mark and Costa and many others. It was just all guys. And we'd be talking at the table on that. But when I went out with Jen for things, it would be Jen and her girlfriends. And I miss that. I'd be with Erica and Kathy and all of them. So, anyways, here's the parking lots I'm talking about. And so they can turn these into festival grounds where they can have throughout the year, even the winter, they can bring up a winter carnival. Truly. Remember, Chicago has the St. Christopher Market. Well, they can turn this into a St. Christopher's Market. And they can bring it up here for the holidays. They can have a Halloween fest up here. Truly, set it up out here, and in the parking lot again, there's tons of room, and they can set up a Halloween fest. And then, you know, you going into Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's. And so they can set up something for that as well. But it's something they can do down here at Old Orchard to really, you know, motivate. And having construction, you want to get everything done before the holidays. So, you know, you'd really like to get things done by sometime mid-October at the latest. You don't really want to have construction during the fourth quarter. That's not when you want to have construction. Not at a mall. And not a lot of road construction in that either. So there's housing building and other things you can do, other infrastructure but you don't want to be closing off highways and roadways and that. You want to get them open for the fourth quarter. So you want to have things get done, and so you don't impede traffic to and from the mall. And so, again, remember, even if people shopped early, they tend to go out and have all kinds of things going on with their friends, and they go out shopping with their friends for themselves. So people that shop early and get their Christmas shopping done, what do? They tend to go out and shop for themselves. So, again, you have the Capitol Grill, which I liked. I used to know the guy used to was the general manager in Chicago. I haven't seen him in a long time. But it's a good steakhouse. We had our event from Reggie's at the Capitol Grill with MetLife. We had our Christmas party there. It was awesome. And there's probably, 40, 50 of us or so. And we had all kinds of shrimp and lobster and steak and, great appetizers, open bar, and, great dinner. And then everybody had a skit they prepared. And so I was part of this standing up, and we did this song together as a group. So we took time out of work and we prepared, and everybody was given something to do. And so we had these little segments of entertainment. So anyways, this is the Old Orchard area, and you have the Doubletree by Hilton, which my friend Lance Levy, his mother worked her life in the Doubletree. Great lady. Love that lady. And her sister and that, and Lance's sister, Deb, great lady. And I didn't get to ever meet or interact with his brother Mike. So, anyways, but I did his father used to run Southern Wine and Spirits, and he was a really good guy. So, but God rest his soul, he passed away. But anyways, this is the Old Orchard area, and I figure I, put some thoughts out there, and, the holidays are coming, and this is a way to make things into a winter wonderland. They can even put an ice skating ring out there. We used to, in our park on the ground, and they do it in Deerfield, by my sister's house, there's a park, and then they pile up with the snow and create borders, and if there's no snow, then they just make man-made borders through sandbags, and they put tarp over it. So they put sandbags to make the walls, and then they put a tarp across the grass and everything, and then tarp goes up over the sandbags, and then they flood the center to make the ice arena. So they can have an ice skating ring there in one of the parking lots. So an ice skating ring, and that can happen over the winter once the temperature gets cold enough. And so they can have an area where they can have an ice skating ring, and they can set up stands and, chocolate, and they can rent ice skates and figure skates, hockey skates and ice skates. They can even set up, skating competitions. Like they can have outdoor figure skating competitions. They don't do that in the ice rings in Chicago, meaning the outside when they set them up, like at the one by Millennium Park and that. But it's a great time to come out. They can offer classes, and people can take lessons on ice skating, truly, whether they want to learn how to skate in figure skates or hockey skates. And then they can give lessons, and they can even have exercise classes. Oh yeah, you can do exercise classes on ice skates or figure skates. So again, they can set that up, and they can come out and they can take lessons, and that means instructors and other types of business. So, and you have all this woods around here, and you can do hiking and exploring through the woods, and outdoor adventure courses. Now they have to go through and make sure there's no poison ivy and things, but go through it, and then they can have outdoor adventures through the woods and that. A lot of people kayak down the North Branch or the Chicago River, and so there's a lot of things they can do, like this piece of garbage. So the truck, piece of garbage. But there's a lot of things they can do. So again, you can make this into extremely great stuff. And so obviously this is going to go up on YouTube. So anyways, I'm going to cut the video short, or I'm going to cut it here.